Guys, today I am going to talk about how we can solve the algorithm basic scripting challenge, I think number 4. Yep, and that is check for palindromes. Okay, so what is a palindrome? Before we start trying to find a solution for it, we should probably know what it is. So, it's described here as a word or a sentence that is spelled the same way both forward and backward, ignoring punctuation, case, and spacing. Okay, so our job is to create a solution that will return true if the given string is a palindrome. If it's not, we want to return false. Okay, sounds easy enough. So we have to basically test whatever string is passed in, and we have to try and see if that is equal to the same string but backwards. Okay, when I first started this, I did not know, well, I didn't know where to start. Um, there's so many possible solutions and possible things you can do to make this work. And so I kind of just started to think about what I learned in the past lessons, some of the functions that might work with this type of challenge. And so since they said that I'll have to remove all non-alphanumeric characters from the string that's passed in, I decided to use a function that they taught in a past lesson, and that was the replace function. So if I jump over to the code, the very first line that I have here is simply taking the string that they pass in, and I'm going to say I want to replace any character that isn't a number or a letter, and I want to replace it with nothing. So this is the replace function, and this is using regular expressions inside the replace function. We learned regular expressions in the past lesson, and it's basically just a pattern of characters, and we can modify those characters and do things with them using regular expressions. So I'm just declaring with this little upwards arrow that if the element is not a number or it's not a letter, I want you to replace it with an empty string, basically nothing. And if you look at this G and this I here, you're probably a little bit confused, but basically the G stands for global. So it's saying that I don't want you to just check the first element in the string. I want you to check the entire string. And if any of those elements in the entire string is a special character, such as a punctuation, a space, or a symbol, then I want you to replace it with nothing. Basically, remove it. And then the I that's next to this G is saying I want you to ignore the casing in this string. So no matter if it's lowercase or uppercase, just ignore it and continue on testing the elements. Okay, so once it did that, I set it equal to the string so that because this is a situation that I'm going to talk about before I go further down with the function. The replace method, the split method, the reverse method, and the join method, this is important. They all, when you use them, they all create a new instance of the string. So they don't just set it equal to the string that you used like we would think it would. Instead, they create a brand new string. So if we don't manually set it equal to the string or whatever variable we want it to be equal to, it won't do it for us. It'll just have a brand new string and we'll get errors and we'll wonder why, because that's basically why. So that's really important, and that's really why I couldn't pass this challenge a lot, because I didn't remember that it would create a new string. Okay, but so after that, I followed kind of what it said here, and it said to turn everything lowercase. And that's what I did by using the to lowercase function that's built in. And it simply does what it says. It makes the entire string lowercase. And we have to do that because we don't know what type of string will be tested against our string. So we want to make sure that it's lowercase. Okay, and so once it's lowercase, we have basically handled the string. Okay, so I'm having a lot of distractions right now. Sorry. But anyways, so what after we've done the two lowercase and we replace all of the special characters with, with nothing, we can then go down to the more logical part that can kind of get a little bit confusing. So, FreeCodeCamp actually kind of hints to us that we have to use the replace function and the two lowercase function over here with the helpful links. I don't really use those because I try to just kind of brainstorm on my own and find a solution. So if we once we've done these two, it kind of gets a little tricky. We have to kind of think about what we have to do next in order to make this work. So now that we have our string, it doesn't have any special characters in it, it's all lowercase, we can start to form the backward string. And so how can we do that? First of all, we need to find a way to separate every single letter inside of the string that's passed in. And the first function that came to my mind was the split function. And I really like this function. It basically does exactly what it says, and it splits every character in the string by the delimiter that you pass in. So as you can see here, I declared that I wanted to use an empty string to split my characters. And what that means is that it's going to split the characters at every letter. So the array might look something like this. Let's say that I was passing in the word I, and I was calling the split function on it. Basically, the array would look something like this. Oops, like that. So that's how the array would look if I called the split function and my string was I. That makes any sense. Hopefully it does. But so that's exactly what we need. We needed to split each character up. Now that we have that, like I said, we have to set it equal to a specific variable, and I named this variable split string. You can name it whatever you want to, but I just chose to name it this. Okay, and so now that I have a new array that is equal to split string and contains the characters from the string I passed in, I can go down and I can start creating the backwards element of that string. And I can do that by using a function that I don't think we went over in FreeCodeCamp, but I did some research and this is exactly what we need to do. The reverse function does exactly what it says too. Basically, it reverses the elements in your array and it's going to turn them backwards. So this is perfect for testing to see if the string is the same way both forward and backward. So it would turn the elements around and basically swap them. So the first one will become the last one will become the first. And that's perfect. And I go ahead and I set that equal to split string again, because if I didn't, it would just be a completely different element and we wouldn't even be able to access it. So set it equal to that variable. And then next, I would have to do one more thing before I can actually test it. And that thing would be to combine those elements in the array and make them a string again. And I can do that by using the join function, which basically combines every element in the array to make a string. And it combines it based off of what you pass into that string. And I passed in an empty string again because I don't really want it to have anything between my characters. I just want it to be a complete word again. So once I call the join function on that string, it would no longer be an array, but split string is now equal to the backwards word that we need. Perfect. So now I can just go down here and I can test to see if the forward string is equal to the backward string. And if it is, I'll do exactly as they told me to, which is return true. And if it's not, I'll just return false. Perfect. And this should work. And as you can see here, I was kind of testing my code to see what was going on, and this is how I figured out that the functions return a new string rather than the one that's equal to your original variable. But I can remove that now. Okay, so once I do this, everything should work smoothly and we should be able to pass this challenge. Nothing but net. Okay, perfect. So I hope this helped you guys in some way. It's under 10 minutes, which is awesome. If you guys need some help, leave a comment and I will get back to you with some help if I can. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.